Hi and welcome to IMGA Podcasts. In today's episode, we will be talking about Portuguese Golden Visa, a residency by investment program that has been attracting a lot of global interest lately. And with me today, I have Rui Assis Passos. Thank you, Rui, for being here with us today. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. And I will run quickly through your curriculum because it's very impressive. Rui is a founder and managing partner of ERG Legal and Family Office, a Lisbon-based law firm specializing in immigration, investment, taxation, and estate planning.
Yeah.
Rui, you have over 20 years of experience and have been working mainly with international clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your specialization are Golden Visa, D7, and D2 visas, asset restructuring, and international taxation.
Yes.
So you are the perfect person to answer all our questions about the Golden Visa
That's
program.
what we are going to see,
yes. And more recently, you also have been involved in the legislative reforms of the Golden Visa in Portugal and contributing to policies that aim to balance foreign investment with social and regulated concerns.
Yes.
So, Rui, I would like to start with the general question for now. Could you please make a quick overview of what is Portuguese Golden Visa?
Of course. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with the IMGA in the podcasts. And the curriculum, it's just what it is. It's a life deadline. So in terms of the program, it's very simple. It's a residency by investment program, as you said correctly. And there are some differences from this type of residency to all the others. The government created a specific product in 2012. And what they said is that, okay, we can onboard people that are interested in investing in Portugal, and we are going to give them special requisites that are different from the other. So you can, by the means of investment, that it's as low as 200k if it is a cultural donation, or 500 in an investment fund, you can invest in Portugal, and that allows you to request the residence permit for you and your family members. And the stay period or the stay requirements are as minimal as 7 days in the first year and 14 days each period of subsequent 2 years. So this is the main difference from the Golden Visa to the others.
Right. And there are also benefits that applies to the Golden Visa. So I would like to talk about it.
When you have a Golden Visa, you are entitled to live in Portugal, but you can choose if you want to spend here more than 183 days and then become a tax resident, or do not spend that time in Portugal and have Portugal as your second place to live. So technically you can be tax resident in another country and also benefit of EU Schengen visa stay in Portugal, as well as visiting all the other countries. There are some side benefits. You benefit from the school environment for the kids. You can onboard all the family in your application, provided that some requirements are met, as well as you'll have access to the normal amenities as the Portuguese have, like health care in Portugal, schools for the kids, and the social welfare.
So it's basically all the benefits that normal residency already has.
Yes, you have all the benefits with a difference. For the normal residents, you have to live here in Portugal and reside at least 183 days per year. And with the Golden Visa, you are just required to spend 7.
And what is per se target audience? Who is eligible to apply?
Well, first of all, when we are talking about Golden Visa and being the investment, a high investment for normal standards, we are talking about 200k of a donation, so you are going to lose the money. It's like a philanthropic move that you are doing with your cash, and the other investments are 500k. We are talking about some serious people that are either entrepreneurs, high members of multinational companies, and also wealthy people that have an interest in having mobility. You can see the Golden Visa for this type of people as an asset. After COVID, when we were all closed, it was interesting to understand how we can move. If you have a residence permit or if you have a passport from a third country, you are allowed to have more moves than if you don't have. So we can see it as a plan B, either for your family or even for the development of your business with more freedom than you have without having the visa. Because as you know, there are some countries that don't have Schengen visa, And when you have a residence permit, you can freely move within Europe with certain limitations of stay period in the other countries before you have. Or if you do not acquire the passport, limitation in if you go to Germany and have a Portuguese residence permit, you can stay there 90 days, but you cannot reside there.
And who is eligible to apply from the demographical and legal point of view?
Okay. Everyone that is more than 18 years old was not convicted by a felony, so it has a clean criminal record. Of course, they have to have the money to do it, and so they have to prove the source of wealth, and you should be a non-EU citizen.
Right. You have already mentioned the investment options available. Could you bullet it once again, please?
Well, you have, after 2023, the real estate was vanished from the golden visa eligible options. And now you have for the investment, cultural donation, 200K minimum if it is the project it's located in NUTS 3 zones, which mean interior zones with low density. Then you have 250 if the foundations or the projects are located on littoral coast and normal density areas. Then you have incorporation of a company with creation of jobs. Then you have another one that it's not used very often, which is the creation of 10 jobs, just that. And then you have the entering in an existing company with a share capital of 500K of entering from this new partner, and the maintenance of a certain number of jobs that is required by law, which is good for the Portuguese economical scenario. And the most important one now, which is the investment fund. So you can invest in a collective investment scheme that it's not real estate, and so it has to be run by a Portuguese asset manager, as IMGA is, as well as according to the Portuguese regulations that are in force, it should have the investment policy being 60% in Portuguese companies and 40% can be elsewhere. So these are the key investments that are allowed in Portugal.
Right, and you've already mentioned, and I would like to highlight it once again, that real estate is no longer available.
No. Real estate is no longer available, as well as you cannot invest in real estate investment funds. That was something that was addressed by the government in 2023. Back then, it was to avoid the speculation that was felt, as they said,
in the market,
in the habitational market. Right. I don't agree with it, but this is just my opinion.
Right. And what are the steps to apply for the golden visa?
Well, first of all, you have to decide that you want to have a residence permit outside the country where you live. Then you have to have the money. After that, you will contact someone that can help you, normally a lawyer or an immigration agency or even a fund. You can contact directly a fund. You have to choose the investment wisely. I think that it should be chosen wisely because there are a lot of options. So you have to use the fund that more adapts to your investment profile.
That's why probably legal consultation is an option.
The legal consultation will help you with all the documentation and all the legal process, because the golden visa, it's only possible to be done if you are followed by a Portuguese lawyer.
For sure.
Okay. But the lawyer can help you with the due diligence on the fund, saying if it is an eligible fund or not, because not all funds that are in Portugal are golden visa eligible. So you have to study that, and then with the eligible funds, you have to define what is the fund that it's better for your investment profile. There are clients that like more open-ended funds because they know a little bit about the markets and they want to have the freedom of removing the cash if they want to leave the golden visa. And other people like to have venture capital funds because they want to have an appreciation. They think that startups and other type of companies are interesting, and so they prefer that option. So it depends on the investor.
But the legal consultancy also helps with all those steps like obtaining the NIF number.
Yes, we do everything. At our office, we do everything. We are a team of 12 people, and we do everything for the client since the beginning until the obtention of the permanent residency or even the passport if he requires to have nationality.
But what your clients should be prepared for, like the steps?
Okay. So the first step after you choose the investment, or when you are choosing the investment or the path, let's assume that, okay, I want to do the golden visa through the means of an investment fund. You have decided it's an investment fund, you have chosen your asset manager and the funds, and you are in the search of the funds. When you are doing this search, you have already contacted a lawyer, or if you don't have, maybe the fund can tell you who are the 3, 4, 5 law firms that can help you, or legal advisors that can help you. The legal advisor then will contact you. You will have to prepare a lot of documentation, first for the AML and know your customer done by the banks and by the investment fund. You have to open a bank account, you have to obtain the Portuguese tax number, you have to have a tax representative, and for that the legal advisor, it's the key person, because you will not be able to achieve everything that it's needed without him. It's going to be very difficult. Because there are a lot of documents that have to be certified. The certification must be done by a lawyer or a notary. You have to have the complete checklist of all the documents that you need, first for the obtention of the NIF, then to open the bank account, and then to do the golden visa. Some of the documents are similar, but for the golden visa, the list is a little bit shorter, but more formal than for the banks.
So it correctly prepared to be submitted to the immigration.
Yes, you have to have a specific dossier and a specific checklist to do everything. For the NIF, you need 2 or 3 documents, and then for the bank account, you will need a lot more, because you have to prove your source of wealth, you have to prove that you earn that cash, you pay the taxes, and so on. And then for the golden visa, you have to show your passport, a complete copy of it. You have to show your criminal record from the country of origin, which, if you are in a country that works with the IMGA apostille, it should be apostilled in the specific notary. It has to be translated then in Portugal. The translation has to be certified, and so on. And a bunch of other documents that are needed. So that's where the legal advisor can be of key essence for your process. And then for the submission, because it can only be submitted by a lawyer.
For sure. And what are the stay requirements?
Stay requirements are as simple as this. According to the law that it's now in force, you have to spend 7 days in the first year and 14 days each period of 2 years. Those 7 days and those 14 days can be in a row or separate, provided that you have spent. And they are only required after you have the cards. So let me give you an example. Let's assume that someone from the United States is going to request the Portuguese golden visa. He started the process and so on. We have submitted, he has made the investment, we have submitted all the documentation, paid the analysis fee, and the process is at IMGA for being analyzed. The client does not need to be in Portugal. You will only be required to be in Portugal for the biometric collection of data. And then after the biometrics, the card is issued. Okay, it can take some months. When the card is issued, that's when he is required to stay the 7 days. It's from that date onwards that we'll have to count 1 year, and that first year he has to be 7 days in Portugal. And then in each period of subsequent 2 years, he has to spend 14 days. He chooses how he wants to do. And that it's applicable for him as well as for the family members. But only after the family members have their cards. So each card will make set the tone for the stay period. There is a question that a lot of clients ask, which is, when should I do that? It's only after having the card, not before.
Okay, and you've already mentioned the family members. So Golden Visa also has this possibility of including family members in application, right?
You can do a family regroupment. So you are the main applicant, and you can join your spouse. And in Portugal, it's allowed spouse from the same sex. You don't need to be from different sex, or even someone that you live in. I don't know how it is called in Portugal. We call união de facto. And so in conjunction, you live with someone as a family, but you are not married with paper. You can also onboard your kids, so from that marriage or the previous marriage. Okay, and you can onboard the parents of your spouse and your parents. There is a difference that if they are below 65, the requirements are different than if they are over 65. And technically, that's it. You can also put, in some specific cases, brothers and sisters, but you have to have a specific court order, and so on and so on. The kids can be onboarded up to the age of 25, okay, provided that 3 requirements are met. They are still unmarried. They are economically dependent from the main applicant, and they are single. These are the 3 requirements. So let me give you an example. If you enter with 25, and the golden visa takes like 5 years or 6 or whatever, you can remain even if you are over 25, because you started below. But on all those years, you have to remain single, unmarried, single, studying, and economically dependent. If one of these criteria is not met, they will not renew your application.
Mm-hmm. Rui, and we've already talked about general benefits of Golden Visa holders, but I would like to specify the more, what are the tax benefits, if there
Tax
are?
benefits? Yeah, there are some tax benefits. First of all, requiring the Golden Visa does not make you obliged to be or to become a tax resident in Portugal. As a lot of clients ask, oh, but with the Golden Visa, can I ask permanent residency? Yes. Are you going to be considered a tax resident? Technically, no. Only if you live in Portugal more than 183 days, which is not required for the Golden Visa, as well as you don't have to have here your main house, okay? So, plus, all the funds that are now eligible for Golden Visa, if you are a non-resident, there is no taxation on the income that is given to you by the funds, either if it is just income or capital gains, it's exempt. So these two tax benefits are very interesting. Then, if you want to become a tax resident in Portugal, you can also apply to some specific regimes that we have that allow you to have some limitations or some periods where the taxation is limited, like the IFIC plus for some type of professions, where you can achieve an exemption on foreign income, or at least some types of foreign income, and lower taxation in Portugal for a certain period of time, like we had with the NHR that has ended also.
And anything for crypto gains?
Well, crypto, it's not cash.
Yes.
Okay, so crypto in Portugal, it's a thing. You have to declare it to the tax authorities, but provided that you hold the crypto for more than 12 months, it will not be taxed. So if you realize a capital gain on crypto, but you do not remove the cash from the ledger that you have, the cold wallet, or even the Binance, not doing some publicity here to names, if you remain with the asset for more than 12 months, 365 days, it will not be taxed. So it can be an advantage for some clients.
Yes. And is the program, well, for sure it is, but
but then again, let me just tell you one thing. You cannot invest with crypto in the funds. You should invest
yes, yeah. There were some changes in European countries, so that's why I'll have to ask about it, if the program is still active in 2025.
Yeah, the program is still active in 2025, and according to the informations and meetings that I have held with some of the parties, there is no intention of closing the program in the next few years. We have to understand one thing. This program was created by the Social Democrats back in 2012. They are the ones that are in power now. It doesn't make too much of a sense to end with a program that has been very, very, very attractive for investors and that can flow annually an excess of 1.5 to 2 billion euros to the Portuguese economy directly.
Right. And how does Portugal's Golden Visa compare to other countries' program in this case?
That's a tricky question because I'm Portuguese, so I will always try to defend, but I will be unbiased as I can. Well, I think that the Portuguese Golden Visa, it's one of the most attractive, if not the most, in Europe, because of one thing. You are never required to be a tax resident unless you spend here 183 days. The Spanish regime, which has already closed, so we can talk about it, for you to achieve, for instance, the nationality, you would have to have a stay period, a longer stay period in the country and become tax resident for a certain period of time. The Greek, it's a bit different, but it's also, you have to become and be a tax resident. The Portuguese one, it's the only one that allows you to become permanent tax resident or even go to another process, which is the nationality process, which is a separate process, but that you have to have at least a certain number of years. Now, with the law that is in force, 5 to request the nationality. But are different processes, so it's not the same. But you can request nationality without becoming a tax resident or without living in Portugal, which can be a huge advantage for the ones that want freedom. Because we have to understand one thing. The type of people that look for this program, they look for the program because they want to have freedom of movement. Some of them are entrepreneurs. They want to travel from wherever they want, when they want. So they don't want to have limitations on their life. And this is one of the major advantages of the Portuguese program. And let me tell you one thing. If by any chance this changes, the program will suffer And it will be a major breakdown in the golden visa in Portugal because you are not so attractive as you were in the past. And the program, in my opinion, it's interesting for the economy. You are talking about a program that brings annually from 2025, 2024, 1 billion in 2 billion in cash, which is 1% of the GDP, without the need of paying taxes. So if you have the correct type of investments for the golden visa, let's say if we address like I have proposed in 2023 at the Parliament to go to social housing and so on, you can address specific needs of the country and have the finance for those needs without the need of borrowing money outside.
Mm-hmm.
So without paying interest, so it's cheaper for the country.
For sure. Rui, and I think there is some mix of terms sometimes with the audience between golden visa and golden passport.
Two different things.
Yes, I'd like to...
Well, I will try to be as clear as I can. So we have two types of processes. Residency by investment, which is called internationally as RBI, and citizenship by investment.
Mm-hmm.
Citizenship by investment, it's the golden passport. Residency by investment, it's a residency program. So in Portugal, we have residency by investment, that if you spend the number of years that are required by the nationality law, which is independent from this one, mm-hmm. will allow it to require the nationality. But the passport, it's not something that it's granted. On the other hand, on the CBI, the investment, it's like buying the passport. Mm-hmm. Okay, in Portugal, that's not what happens. You are not buying the passport. It's not possible to buy a passport in Portugal. Mm-hmm. This is more known in smaller countries, like Caribbean countries and so on. And it's important that in these countries, these golden passports can represent more than 60% of the total GDP, because they don't have any industry besides tourism. So for these countries, it's important. For us in Europe, no. Let me give you the case of Malta, which in my opinion was not correctly judged by the European Union, because the nationality, it's a matter of internal sovereignty, and the European Court of Justice ruled that the way that Malta was dealing with the nationality and the passports, because they sold passports, was something that was not to be done in Europe, because the European passport should not be a commodity. Okay, and they revoked the program. So this is not allowed in Europe. In Europe, you can have residency programs, which I completely agree. At some point, when you have a residence permit for a certain period of time, in some countries it's allowed for you to request nationality, as in Portugal. Mm-hmm. But one thing can lead to the other, but it's not the same thing.
Right. Rui, that was it. It was sort of like a lightning round of frequently asked questions about golden visa, the Portuguese golden visa. Thank you very much for being here with us today. And thank you very much for watching our episode at IMGA Podcasts. If you'd like to know about funds that are eligible for a golden visa program of IMGA, go visit our website at imga.pt. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more market insights and company insights. And I'll see you on next episode. Take care.
Any knowledge or opinion presented are for information purposes only and are subject to change without prior notice. Any returns information disclosed represents past data and is not a guarantee for the future returns. Investing in funds may result in a loss of invested capital if the fund does not have a capital guarantee. For any further information, please contact us on our social networks at IMGA Gestão de Ativos.